What divine timing. You found this video at exactly the right moment. Welcome. My name is Anya Light. I'm here as a guide for you here on the channel on Spirit Guide Tarot. And my aim here is to just give you a few minutes out of your day. Sit back, relax, breathe with me, and use this opportunity to get in touch with your own divine wisdom, your own intuition. This is a general reading, so of course there's going to be parts of this that are not fully going to resonate with what you're going through at this time, and there will be parts that will strongly resonate with what you're going through, so just take the parts that resonate and leave the rest for others. I love you so much. And as always, if you want to work with me one-on-one, get a personal reading, reach out. I'm here for you. Okay, so before I hit record, I was meditating, reflecting on who I'm talking to today. And I feel like I'm talking to a collective that is feeling frustrated, has been feeling a bit or a lot frustrated with their relationships. And the specific issue that was coming up that it feels like people are already wanting to work on is communication style, communication habits, or patterns, things like that. I drew the Four of Wands, and it feels like there's been some tumultuous conversations that have been happening in your home. The Four of Wands is a lot about home life, coming home, feeling safe at home, creating a joyful home life. And it feels like maybe you've been going through some really, really confusing, painful conversations, that just these conversations haven't been going very well. They haven't been going the way you want them to go. And maybe you already have some tools for communication. Maybe you study NVC, nonviolent communication. Maybe you have different guides or gurus or teachers who teach different methods of using language to facilitate healing and growth and expansion. Like, the feeling I'm getting is I'm not talking to complete newbies out there to this stuff. It's like, I think you have had a journey already with communication, and I think you're very invested in being a loving, clear, honest, authentic communicator. Like, I think that's what you've been working on for a while. But I feel like perhaps you've come to a bit of a roadblock, or at least a place of recognition of, I need to move to the next level because what I've been doing isn't quite enough. That's the feeling that I'm getting. So yeah, communication is kind of a big topic. I mean, that's like our human journey, right? Like, it's huge. So yeah, so the Fool card is saying, I want to start a new chapter with my relationships. I want to start a new chapter with the art of communication, but I feel maybe a little bit stuck. So let's see what's going on here. So beautiful spirit guides, please come in, speak to us through the cards, show us what will be in our highest good for this chapter of learning and growth together. So spirit guides, what, tell us a little bit more about some of the frustrations or issues in communication that have been coming up for my beautiful viewers. Okay. 9 of Rainbows. In traditional tarot, this corresponds to the 9 of Pentacles. And this card is so much about patience. It's a card of patience. It's like you want to have greater patience for people. And maybe you haven't felt so much patience lately. Like you felt triggered, you felt overwhelmed, you felt annoyed, maybe angry, confused, sad, and it's impacted the way that you talk to people, especially in the home. That's what I'm getting. It's like there's some conversations that have been happening in the home that are just not sitting right with you. So in this card, this fruit is naturally falling from the tree in the perfect timing. The time is ripe. But in order to have that perfect moment where the fruit effortlessly falls from the tree, it doesn't even need to be picked, it just falls. That moment is precipitated by patience, right? We don't go and pick the fruit before it's ripe. We wait for that perfect moment. It's just a side note, but if you've ever tasted fruit that has already fallen from the tree, that has just recently fallen from the tree, it is quite spectacular. As opposed to fruit that you pick, there's just something about it. It's like about flowing with nature and its rhythms. It's like the tree is like, here, the fruit is ready, let me give it to you, rather than like, oh, let me take it, right? So it's a subtle but meaningful energetic difference. But in order to wait for that, we have to have patience, right? So I feel like you've been trying to cultivate patience, deeper and more patience for those you love, those you care about, those in your community, your neighbors. That's important to you. But also, like, you're a human being and you have wounds and you have, stuff you're healing, in the process of healing. And, when we, I always say that relationships are the highest form of yoga because they force us into the deep, dark shadows that we might otherwise be able to ignore if we weren't in close relationships. And I'm really getting here with this Four of Wands card, it's like you want to create this happy, stable, peaceful home for yourself, this home life for yourself, but there is, just more healing and growth that you're ready for with your communication. So let's learn a little bit more about the kind of communication that would be serving you at this time. There's different, aspects of communication. What would be helpful for you at this time? Grounded and practical with Eight of Pentacles is about working towards the future in a very diligent, practical way. So having conversations where the intention is to build things over time. So what I'm getting is like investing more energy into people that you want to go the long haul with, and maybe letting go, at least temporarily, or just minimizing the time and energy you put into conversations with other people for a while. Because we're humans, we only have so much energy to give it's like we only have so many spoons in a day. So it may be helpful for you to prioritize a couple connections at this time, really going deeper with them, and then just kind of letting yourself not spend so much time and energy on other connections. Now, I know that might be difficult for you, but one of the things that I have seen in my relationship / communication evolution journey, that was a mouthful, is like when the going gets tough in our closest, most intimate relationships, our spouses, our partners, our best friends, our children, our parents, those really close bonds. When the going gets tough, it's easy sometimes to just put those relationships on the back burner and avoid them. Avoid having hard conversations because somewhere in the back of our mind, we think, well, that person will always be there. But that's not necessarily true. You know, we are never guaranteed the future. And the person that we love may end up dying tomorrow, or tomorrow may say to us, you know, I'm going to move on now. And so we, you know, every day that we have is precious with the people that we love. And to not put off hard conversations, you know, I think that's the hardest thing to do sometimes. You know, oh, I got the chills. This is confirmation. So let me know in the comments below if this is resonating with you. I would love to hear. But yeah, Five of Pentacles, it's time for you to leave that old way of avoidance out in the cold. And I will make a plug here for something that has really transformed and helped my life in terms of communication styles, is learning about attachment theory in relationships. So attachment styles, you know, either there's 4 main types of attachment styles, and you can learn about those. And learning that my attachment style tended to be either secure, but sometimes anxious. I kind of, you know, in my weaker moments, I dip into anxious attachment style. For the most part, I'm secure, but has been revolutionary to me to help me root out or identify the shadows and the like short-sightedness or the weaknesses that I have with communication. Like, because if we don't understand our core wounds, and that's what attachment style teaches, it teaches the core wounds that we typically are subjected to as children, those traumas that linger. You know, if we're not aware of our patterns, like, we could learn the most sophisticated styles of communication. We could read every book on compassionate communication that exists. But when push comes to shove and we get triggered, you know, we're going to act out our old patterns. So I tell people this all the time, like, especially people that are on the spiritual path, that have been on the spiritual path for a long time, or maybe you are a spiritual teacher, a spiritual healer, energy healer, guide. You might think like, I don't need to learn any of that stuff. It's just psychology. And I used to have that mindset as well. It's like, we can sometimes demean psychological models of relations, of relating, because we're like, well, I moved beyond that. Like, I'm into the spiritual realm now. But here's the thing, like, we're still human beings, you know, with complex personality patterns. And if we're going to be in community, we need to understand ourselves and our patterns and our core wounds. Like, it's a very important thing. So otherwise, we're just going to keep unconsciously playing out those shadows over and over and over and over. So for you, wherever you're at with this journey of wanting to, you know, have more loving conversations in your home with the people that you're really close to, looking into like, what is your attachment style might be very, very, very helpful. It completely changed my life, and I really started looking into it the past couple years, and it shed light on so much. I'm like, wow, my life makes sense now. So yeah, I do recommend that as well. So, but at the same time, you know, the King of Swords is saying you can be the King of Swords is, I feel like it's a lot of your energy. You are embodying a lot of the qualities of the King of Swords. You're very logical. You're smart. You're really smart. You can see patterns. So like, it's funny because sometimes when we're really smart, we resist looking at ourselves. It's easy to look outside of us and see other people's shortcomings, weaknesses, flaws, but do we want to look within and be like, oh, and take accountability for what we've contributed to a situation? So using that, can we use our intelligence to just be really honest with ourselves about our patterns. Like from a logical point of view, like, okay, this is what I do, and this is what I have done in the past. I don't wish to repeat these patterns. I wish to communicate in ways that facilitate change and a deeper bond with people, more loving. But in order to do that, I have to really clearly and almost ruthlessly look at myself and take accountability for my past patterns. Does that make sense? Yeah. Because communication does require that level of like intense self-honesty. Now I'm getting the King of Cups, which is really interesting because I was thinking about the King of Cups as I was talking about the King of Swords. I was thinking about how does the King of Cups like interweave and relate to the King of Swords. So really cool that this came up. It's a really nice, that's why I love tarot. It's like a physical representation of like what's all going up in here in my mind. It's like so nice. Like, oh, here. Bleh. Anyway, I love tarot. So King of Cups. So the King of Cups is also you. You're trying to interweave the King of Swords. I wish I could find it, but I already shuffled it back in. But you're trying to interweave the King of Swords with the King of Cups together. The King of Cups is very in touch with his emotions, with understanding his just emotional frequency. He can feel in his heart without fear. He's just like, yeah, I'm an emotional being and that's okay. So, and the King of Swords is like, I'm a genius. I'm smart. I can see patterns, right? So can we see our emotional patterns? Can you see your emotional patterns? Do you have the emotional courage that the King of Cups has to detach, and this sounds like a paradox, and it is, detach and look objectively at your patterns, right? So let me say that again because it's really interesting. I'm learning to, as I say, channel these words. So it takes a certain amount of emotional courage, grit, willingness, like open-heartedness to even embody the King of Swords, which is the logical side. So the King of Cups, which is this emotional maturity, has a lot of courage, a lot of open-heartedness, a lot of receptivity to intuition and to being guided by the universe, right? So you have to tune into your King of Cups self, part of yourself, to be like, yeah, I'm willing to do this, right? That's kind of like the first step. Then the next step is tuning into the King of Swords energy, which is like this very logical, analytical detachment. It's like you zoom out from your personality, from your history, from your story, and look at your story as if it was happening to someone else. It's like, or like looking at the story of your life as if it wasn't what you've lived, because then you have that detachment to see the patterns and to then make changes. That's a really interesting thing that you're stepping into. It's really beautiful. And I'm going to actually, sometimes I watch these videos back before I publish them because I'm like, oh, that was a really interesting way to put it. So I've never channeled any information like that before. So that's like new to me. So I'm kind of like, wow, feeling that energy. But yeah, so it's like combining, learning how to interweave the King of Cups, this emotional openness, vulnerability, bravery, courage, willingness to do this deep dive into yourself, and then that moving into that ruthless King of Swords, which is like, I'm just gonna look at this stuff and observe it, and then from there make the changes. Yay! The source. I pulled this card in a recent reading. I don't know if it was yesterday or just a couple days ago or something, but and I feel like I'm talking to a similar collective here. This card is all about like as you make this upgrade in your communication style, in your ability to communicate more honestly, openly, authentically, with love, more energy is going to flow through your body, through your physical vessel. Because when we are unable to be as vulnerable, as honest, as emotionally expressive with people we love, there's like these energy blocks. It's like our heart gets blocked off. There's this wall, you know. And I'm tuning into right now the sadness that you felt sometimes when you weren't able to, you know, adequately communicate your heart with someone. And part of the sadness that I'm feeling, I feel like you may have lost someone or a couple people in your life over the last year or two as a result of a way that you mishandled communicating with them. And I feel like this loss is weighing heavy on your heart. And it really hurts. I'm really feeling it right now. But the good thing is it's giving you that those, you know, sad experiences are giving you like that motivation to want to work on this now. Yeah. So it's like you're wanting to turn your traumas, I'm going to use the word failure. I don't normally use that word. And it's like Spirit is telling me, just use that word, even though you don't normally say it, but to spin your failure into success. And when I mean failure, I don't mean like failure as a soul. It's not failure as a person. You're a good person. It's not like that. It's just sometimes we don't handle situations in the best way, you know, and then there's karmic repercussions for that. And I feel like you may have been upset with yourself in recent months about the way that one or multiple relationships in your life have deteriorated because of lack of communication skills. It's like you like look back at certain conversations and you replay them in your mind and you're like, why didn't I say this? Or why didn't I approach it like this? So you're wanting to move forward into the future, you know, learning from the past, learning from those mistakes that you made. And that takes courage. And like I said, like, you know, having the courage to do that work and to focus on communication and relationships and upgrading these, you know, this is going to bring your power back. Or maybe not saying back, more like this is going to upgrade your power indefinitely in the future. This is going to open up portals for you. This is going to open up new channels of energy, prana for you. Right? And that's what you ultimately want in life, right? To have greater life force energy flowing through you. So I'm going to pull one more card. You know, I want to hear a little bit more because I want some juicy inspiration here. You know, you're going forward with just learning about better communication skills, how to communicate more honestly, openly, vulnerably, authentically, with kindness and compassion for yourself and others, learning more about personality, psychology stuff, including, and I really do recommend learning about attachment style, because that is just going to help you so much in your relationships and help you end past negative patterns. But okay, let's say you do all this work and you dive in and you give it your full all. Like what other benefits and blessings are coming your way? Leo energy. Maybe I'm talking to a Leo out there. Strength card. This is your inner knowing that it's the feeling I'm getting is that this is one of your final tests as a human being who is deeply, deeply committed to their evolution. This is a big deal for you. This is one of these final tests in this lifetime for you, where what you choose to do in the coming years with your communication style, cleaning up these past patterns, this is going to be everything for you. Because I do get this strong feeling that you are in a position of leadership in your community in some way. You are, people listen to what you have to say, and for good reason. You've done a shit ton of work on yourself, right? But there's still like these areas in relationship and communication that are not quite aligned yet. And as you do this work, this is where you find your strength, your deepest strength, to be a leader, to be a mentor to others, to be an inspiration to others. Because, this communication stuff is hard. The deepest form of yoga is relationship. The deepest form of yoga is communication. And communication is not always about words. Sometimes it is about sending energy to yourself and others, unconditional love, forgiveness. But as humans, we use words and language, and it's so important. And as we unblock our heart chakra and unblock our throat chakra with our King of Cups energy, and as we learn to feel safer and safer in our bodies, we connect and we open and we balance that root chakra energy, and we feel more safe, and we really feel more safe in our homes as we work on ourselves and build these bonds with others. We enter a new world. It's a new world. And the light is shining through my window, right in front of me. You can't see it, but it's right over there. And it's so beautiful. And it's a confirmation of where we're all going, my friend. And I want you to know that I love you so much. And I know that you're doing your best. And I know I'm really excited for you as you go into this deeper journey with communication and getting to know yourself better, and courageously, full of strength, leaving behind these past patterns. You are the strength card. You are that Leo energy. I love you so much. I'm so proud of you. I'll see you very soon in the next video. Namaste.